Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Tis Hitters, episode 22. My name's Kurt Conley, it's Friday and I'm here with Rev Nissen. How are you today, Mr. Nissen?
Yeah, doing good, Kurt. Doing all right. Bit of a crazy market. We got the moon behind us.
Crazy market, I mean,
Can I do it yet?
it,
I
it
can't.
is mental.
I still can't do
Yeah,
it.
you can hold that moon, hold that moon.
There
It
we
is
go.
definitely, it is definitely on the cusp. It is definitely on the cusp of what we've been talking about for some time here. I mean, Doge doing 800%. I mean, come on, who
It's
let the puppy out?
insane. It's. I'm actually looking for old wallets of Doge as we speak and get them synced up because I'm sure I have some sitting around somewhere.
Charging up like old phones and stuff, right?
Literally, I promise. It's really good to
Wow.
see, though. It's awesome, and we'll be
Exciting
talking about
times.
that, right, at the end.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about alt season. Yeah, for sure at the end. So let's get into it. There's lots to cover, lots to talk about, lots of exciting stuff to going on. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to TIS Hitters. For all the members that continue to follow us and follow the journey of TIS Hitters, welcome back. It's Friday. Let's jump into it, Rev. So first off, as always, we go over the disclaimer that we are not financial advisors. This is not investment advice. Everything that we talk about is pure speculation in the market. Please tread carefully, especially with what's going on in the market at the moment. These are our ideas and what we think is happening in the market in these videos, the stuff that we cover. Let's go. So in the last week, we talked about a couple of trades. The first one was STPT. The entry we talked about was 68 sats. The current sat value is 70 sats. Current change is 3%. It did go to 83 sats, so that is a plus 22% change on STPT. The other one we talked about was OAX. The entry we talked about was 406 sats. It's currently at 362 sats, which is a negative 10% change. However, the high did go to 438 sats, which is a 7.9% change. Okay, so they are the ones that we covered in the last episode, which was episode 21. And these are the ones that we covered today. We'll cover in the next one. So this week's TIS hits, the first one they're looking at is BAT token. We have covered this in the past as well. Currently ranking at 67 on the CMC ranking, 29 cents. Sat value right now is 895 sats. The trade setup, the weekly MACD is looking to cross, and the current weekly candle is sitting above that weekly MA. And there's a potential for a pullback to 800 sat range for some patient people if they're willing to wait, but it might not get there. We'll have to see. We'll get Rev to pull up the charts. Currently, it's doing 200 BTC on the 24-hour trading pair. Trading notifications that are coming on TIS on the short-term buys is 1, and we're giving this a 7 out of 10 rating, so a potential trade. So Rev, let's fire up CryptoStat, let's pull up the charts and let's have a look at that.
Yeah, so let's go and check out that. As we can see here, we actually looked at it 895 sats. Currently, it's at 878. So that potential pullback to the 800 sat range might just be in play here, Kurt. Let's go and have a look really quickly at the chart. Just make this a little bit bigger, move it across on the screen. So we were looking at the weekly MACD. I'm going to bring this up as well on the MACD scanner for CryptoStat because it's really, really interesting to see a bit of the data that's happening. You can see how it's looking across, and then it's had a lot of resistance prior at the zero line. If we do get above there and go for it, we may even potentially, knock out this double tweezer top. It's almost a double tweezer top on the candle and almost the week, as you can see they're like very, very close. It's not far off what happened there. Let's check out the weekly MA. Let's have a look. Current weekly candle is sitting above the weekly MA as well. So we're talking about this candle here. We've come across. This hasn't confirmed. The new weekly is opened above, and we're looking to just sit above that weekly 7-day MA. The next sort of targets and where you'd find a bit of resistance would be at that next MA, which is between the 25 to 30 Kurt at 1600 sats. And then expect some sort of price action in that zone. A lot of people looking to either sell out and take their money. But if it does push out, look for a pullback to it as well. That's traditionally what we see. But we're talking about weekly candles, so this could be a month play. We'll look at the daily for a second. And once again, there's that 100-day MA or the 99-day MA. We've gone above the zero line, and you can really see what it did the moment it did that. It didn't even wait to confirm on a daily. It just went for it the moment it crossed, which was really, really cool to see. And expecting a slight pullback to 800 range because of that support that we had in here, and hopefully flip some sort of resistance to support in there as well. It's not much, and it doesn't carry much weight. As you can see, we don't have much historical data in that same range, just because it's never sort of been in that range, but it's the only historical data that we can use. So expect a slight pullback, maybe touch the MA line there as well, and then pick back up. This is the 25 to 30 day MA line, and this is the 100. So if we can touch, hold support, you have two things to validate your TA there, and we can see the MACD as well is on top. So if that holds as well, that's three things to the technical analysis to add weight to your trade, and then look for a push out of that 100-day MA above 1,000 sats. So yeah, that definitely looks good. Volume's up, which is really nice to see as well. Short-term perspective, I didn't think we saw anything on the short-term perspective that looked
nothing crazy,
not that great. Yeah, 4 hourly might touch that the 100-day MA, and it has a bit of old resistance, I guess, that will flip to support. Has 1, 2, not really close, but 1 and 2 here that may hold true, and they sort of line up with that 100-day MA as well. So yeah, overall that's pretty much all we can see on the trade. Let me bring up the MACD scanner and just search up that for a second. Sitting not quite high because of the weekly's under, the monthly's under, the hourly, 4 hourly, and the 12 hourly are under as well. So at the moment, not the greatest looking MACD setups for BAT, but it may just turn around for it and go for it from here. But that's pretty much it on BAT.
Cool. So the other trade that we're looking at today for TIS hitters is ONT. So currently ranked 70 on the CMC ranking, 60 cents dollar value, 182 sats in the sat value. Looking at the daily to push above that 200 sat range, which is the current resistance. And the daily MACD is getting close to that zero line that we've talked about in previous videos. If you're not too sure what the go is with the zero line, please click back a few videos and check out what Rev talks about with the zero line. And the weekly MACD is looking to cross bullish as well. Currently 111 BTC, one trade notification. We're giving this a 7 out of 10 rating. Let's pull up the charts, Red, and have a quick look through ONT.
Yeah, let's go and have a look. So ONT here, I told you, we've spoken about this before as well. Still sitting at the same sat range. Volume, it's just a little bit up here. Volume change in the last 24 hours, you can see a big volume change, 85.4%, which is really cool to see. Let's check out the chart and what we're looking here for. So we'll start with the daily, as you mentioned before. I've got it here on my notes as well. 200 sat range, yeah. So we've had a bit of resistance in that range, and there it is. There we've had almost a double top on the bodies. We have had more than double tops, but on the weeks there, we've had almost a triple top. We've had that one push a little bit higher, and then these two meet the same sort of range. This one getting very close as well. The current candle on the daily. So it most likely is looking to push out of that 200 sat range, which is the current daily resistance. Daily MACD as well, trying to get above that zero line, and we've spoken about how strong that zero line is in crypto. It's not like the traditional, in stocks and stuff, no one really pays attention to the zero line, but when it comes to BTC pairs or alt pairs versus BTC, we find from history that the zero line is quite powerful, and a lot of people do trade it within crypto. So definitely keep an eye on that. And the weekly MACD is also looking across bullish as well. And what this sort of indicates to us as well, Kurt, we're going to look at the MACD scanner for ONT. I can almost guarantee it'll be a lot better looking than that. Because this is the sort of move the wave that's coming in, right? You wait for them to all sort of start to kick, and we watch it, and this is how alt season really begins. You can see that weekly right there. Look how close it is to actually crossing. And the histogram as well, peeling its way back to the bullish side, right? And we've missed here on the zero line. And once again, that's how powerful that zero line is. We've double topped on touching that zero line twice in this range on the weekly. So on the 24th of August in 2020 and also on the 7th of September. So twice it tried to touch a zero line and got rejected back off. And you can really see those weeks out there. A little doji here, and the weeks out attempting to get above that zero line, but just couldn't do it. And then we crossed under, and that pattern has actually followed through. So now we're looking to really push back up and see what it can do. Let's go and check out the MACD scan. That's pretty much it. We're looking at that 200 sat range to see if we can break it, and only because the weekly, the daily as well, are looking really good from a MACD perspective. Let's check out the MACD scanner. We'll bring up the chart as well on there. There you go, 74.77% rating on that. And the only thing holding back right now is the 12 hourly and the weekly. The monthly's above, the daily's above, the 4 hourly's above. And as you go down, just to explain it once again, the rating, the higher the time frame, the more weight it adds to this rating. And we've seen just recently as well, moving away from ONT, we've seen recently, if you hold that on top, you can see how many are coming into that 90s range. If we use all here, there's quite a few in the 90 range, and then there's quite a bunch in the 70 range as well, until we get to the 29s at 95. So there's 94 tokens from a BTC perspective on their alt pair above 70% on a MACD rating. And that's just showing us, I don't know if people recall, at the start of 2020, we started to see the formation happening. We had a small alt season kick in, and then that money flowed back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin broke out. The whole world went mad. You had big retail investors looking to buy Bitcoin, and they did, and that's why it's moved the way it has. And now we have the altcoins coming back to life, right? It's just a cycle. We've spoken about it many, many times. And we really lost. We only had like 5 or 6 left in the 90% range. And now we're talking, we're how many? 32. Once again, that build up is just that wave and the cycle of the crypto market and how it works. And understanding that is powerful.
Also, Rev, TIS notifications. So the short-term buyers, the medium-term buyers, the long-term buyers, and the yearly buyers, right? So there was a couple of people in the group that were pointing out that when the long-term trades come in, there was like bunches of like 50 long-term trades would come in, and then another 50 would come in as well. They were only like a month ago or several weeks ago, and there was people in the group that have been watching these, and when these big bursts of 50 or 30 tokens come from the long-term trades, it starts to indicate what we're seeing now. Yeah. So you see these long-term trades come in, and now we're seeing like this big list of on the MACD there with all the buyers percentages changing. These are all the signals, and this is the data that we use to assess the market and see which direction. And that's that shift that starts to happen, which we're going to talk a little bit about as soon as we wrap up ONT.
Yeah. Oh, we're pretty much done on ONT there. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on that 200 sat range. And for BAT, maybe even expect a pullback if you have the patience at 800 sats. It looks like a pretty good pickup. Yeah, cool. We can move on to the next part.
Yeah, let's talk about alt season. So, it's always something that is, people are always waiting for. It's a very exciting time in the crypto space. I know when Bitcoin pushes and runs up hard, it gets a lot of attention, but predominantly in crypto, a lot more people tend to sit in altcoins. So let's look at this chart, this graphic here. So the rule is when Bitcoin dominance declines rapidly, this usually leads to increase in investment in altcoins and can lead to what we call alt season. So on the left-hand side, you can see this graphic over here. It talks about, people going into Bitcoin, then Bitcoin runs up, then the Bitcoin dominance starts to decrease. What we tend to see is people either move over back into fiat because they're not sure on the direction of Bitcoin. And we have seen Bitcoin go from 42,000 back to where it is now. So some people would have moved into fiat. Other people would have moved into altcoins. Now, what happens is when the Bitcoin starts to aggressively move into into altcoins, we see the sort of things that we're seeing now. I mean, if you look at Doge, what's the current BTC trading volume on Doge at the moment? Like 30,000 BTC rev?
Yeah, 30,000 range. And I mean, when
that's crazy, right?
when was the last time you saw anything with 30,000 plus BTC volume?
Well, I mean, the last time we seen mega volume was back when we were sitting in Vegas and we seen Neo like smashing like 80,000 BTC in a
80
24 hour
Yeah, 82,000, and that's the highest that we've ever registered on
ever.
Cryptostat data ever
Yeah.
on
And
any
that was just
exchange.
mental.
Yeah, in a
So what's
24-hour
happening?
period.
Yeah, it was just crazy. I remember we had a house full of people just looking at the screens, just going, "What the hell is going on?" But I remember it like it was yesterday. But one thing we always, one thing you have to notice of what's going on here at the moment, and you can just tell with sentiment. You can look in some of the groups, you can look at the chatter that's going on. Bitcoin's moving from altcoins, then we have FOMO thrown in there. You start sprinkling a bit of FOMO in there, and the FOMO starts to increase. It starts to spread like a bushfire, like a virus. FOMO's passed on. It's one hell of a drug, FOMO. And when it starts circulating in the whole crypto community, then it really happens, and then the avalanche kicks in, and the alt market caps increase, and then you have a full-blown alt season. Rev, I want you to elaborate and explain your psychology, the perspective that you talk about when you talk about the psychology of when this sort of plays out and what's actually happening. We've seen it happen a few times. We believe, and we've been talking about it for a month or two now, that we are on the cusp of a really huge shift and a big move that's coming into the market.
Yeah, well, my perspective is, a lot of people used to say, "Oh, use Doge as, okay,
An
it's
indicator,
moving
right?
up, the indicator." Yeah,
Yeah.
Doge is going for its all-time high. All right, we have alt season. Oh, Doge is going back down. Maybe alt season is over. And the reason that's specifically what's happened in the past is because it usually is one of the first movers. It just has always been. And what that does is you have people that went in with, let's say, at 17 sats, 1 BTC, half a bit, whatever the number actually is. 1 BTC is quite a lot of money now. We're talking, 30,000 plus US is 1 BTC. Now, if they did do that currently, they're at like 12, 13. They're at $500,000 almost, right?
Yeah.
So what that does is those people that have done that, to them, that is play money now, because they're just like, it came out of nowhere. So now what they do is, once they realize their profit and take it, majority of those people, or 80% of those people, because it came so easy, they start going and throwing it at their favorite altcoin. And that's what really kickstarts alt season. That's the psychology behind it. There's nothing out of this world.
Magical.
It's just outside of the box thinking. That's all it is.
Yeah. And it's these sorts of situations like we're seeing with Doge at the moment that completely wakes up the market. Like everyone is like hyper focused on what's going on right now. Everyone's trying to chase the next move. Everyone's talking about other low sat altcoins. I'm starting to move over here. You're seeing people take profits off of Doge and move into there. And this is where it really starts to ramp up. And I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in the following events.
Yeah, for sure. Like, let me show you some data really quickly. Right, we have volume changes of 19,000% on S&M out of nowhere. Now, the reason why we're not picking these up on TIS hitters and stuff is because we're utilizing TIS. Maybe S&M was pinged as well. We haven't checked. But we're not going to go chase candles at the end of the day, right, Kurt? We're going to make sure we keep it consistent with what we've been doing. We've been picking up 20, 10, 15, 30 percenters, and some of them have done more than 100%. We'd rather keep it consistent than get you guys to chase some candles. But what I'm trying to show here is, if you pay attention to that, it's been a very long time since we've had those sort of volume changes on a lot of altcoins. Now, another thing to pay attention is, if you're in Discord, you would have seen, and if you're a TIS subscriber, you would have seen I said I'm going to pick up some Verge. I think it was like 44 sats earlier today. And it went to like 66 or 67 sats. Now, what is that? Since when does Verge just break out like that? We've been waiting over a year for it to even do anything.
It was violent. It was a violent move.
Right. And the reason why we're seeing this is because those people that made their money on Doge are now moving that money around. And it's just, once again, just validating what we're saying here, understanding the psychology, and understanding what you went over as well, Kurt. People either convert it to fiat, or they go into altcoins, and then the FOMO kicks in, and then you have double the surge, which compounds, which gives you a 3-4x on top of a surge. So, yeah, definitely keep an eye out for it, and just try and remember these things. We give these little hints and tips here because we want you to be self-sufficient at the end of the day, and that's the goal.
Yeah, the plan for Cryptofy is to, give you, get you in a community, this ecosystem where everyone's helping each other. You're learning some basic skills with the TA course coming as well. You're going to learn some stuff from that. Tis is sort of dropping some little gems here for you to like go and chart some stuff up. Look, come back to the community, run it past a few people, and learn to do this on your own to make 50% trades, 30% trades. Obviously, applying some risk management into it as well. But it's a really exciting time. What's going on in the community? Really active. I'm definitely keeping an eye on some of the tokens that we've been talking about for the last couple of months. Some of those low supply tokens. If we start seeing some serious volume start spilling over into those, my God, we could see some real fireworks. And I'm definitely keeping a close eye on some of these ones as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Anything else to add, Rev?
No, nothing. I was just going to show BTS, but I think people get the picture really, because BTS went to like from 60 to over 200, and now back down to like one.
In the last 24 hours, or was it
just in the last maybe 2 hours? I'll show it quickly. Just because. So this is what I mean by we don't chase candles. I feel like we may have left a sort of like open discussion there, but I just want people to have an understanding of what I'm talking about here. So you go and chase a candle. We're talking about an hourly candle here, okay? You chase a candle from 80 sats. The first actual candle was at 70 sats, and it went all the way up to 230 sats. Now, let's say we saw this and we got it 200. Right now, you're already at 130, and you've already made a big loss. And this is why I'm saying I don't want to leave it as an open thing. It's probably good that we showed it, that we don't go chasing candles. If they go, they go. Don't stress. There's going to be many more. We're going to be here next week. We're going to be here the week after, and we're going to be doing our best to catch even 10, 20, 30, 50%ers consistently with what we do. And it works. Why break it?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the information that we've covered in today's episode. Please drop a comment below, like and share, and please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you do want to join the rest of the community, please click the link below, join Cryptofy, follow the steps, subscribe, and come join us in the rest of the community members in the Cryptofy community. Look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Enjoy your weekend. Should be a very hot weekend of action on the crypto market. I will be watching. I'll see you guys on the inside. Take care for now. See you, Rev. Bye.
Cheers, kid. Take care.